Hi, and welcome to another episode of Start Select, the video game show that asks the hard questions, pushes the envelopes, and shifts all the paradigms.
Jane, that's enough realigning expectations. Let's just get on with this week's show. We're going to prod and poke the living legend that is Tim Schafer to find out what makes him tick.
We get on with building of our epic gaming PC, along with some benchmark tests to see how fast everything runs.
Jane and I compete to get the most gold in the brand new Fable 3 Kingmaker app.
And also coming up on the show, we take a look at some interesting news, run down the week's new releases, and give away a DJ Hero 2 party pack on the Xbox 360.
First up, time to look at this week's news. All of our news is plucked from the virtual pages of our news channel, which you can find yourself over at gamespot.com/news. Our first news story is that Kinect is launching with 19 titles on November the 10th, and reportedly Microsoft is throwing all sorts of money around. $500 million is going behind its advertising spend. Now, it's announced that 19 titles are going to be coming to the UK, which is 2 more than in the US. A bunch of titles, including Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, EA Sports Active 2, will arrive on November the 19th, slightly after the launch, followed by Game Party in Motion and Zumba Fitness. Deca Sports Freedom will ship before the end of the month. So that's a lot of sports titles, a lot of
fitness titles. You're going to be so fit.
You're going to be so fit,
If you get Kinect, you're going to lose so much weight.
5 or 6, including, of course, Get Fit with Mel B.
Yes, for Europe only, exclusive. And Dance Paradise, so a couple of dance games as well. Dance Central looks pretty good. Yeah, nothing for the hardcore. It's really a casual kind of launch lineup. Like you say, it's a lot of games for a lineup, like equivalent to a console launch.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. I think that's one of the things that I saw was Major Nelson saying that, if you haven't pre-ordered your Kinect, get out there and do it because stocks are going to be limited.
Things are going fast, right?
We'll see how true that is. But is there anything that's kind of piquing your interest of the launch lineup? I know you played Dance Central. Yeah,
Dance Central I think is the one that I would get it for. But that said, I'm probably not going to get it at launch. There's some stuff they had at TGS that looked kind of interesting, a little bit more kind of hardcore, I suppose, and we won't see those for a little while. So I can probably wait.
And Child of Eden as well.
Child of Eden looked amazing. Yeah, you can play it with a controller as well, though.
Yeah, so you don't even need Kinect. All right. Well, talking of stuff from Japan, you've picked out another crossover that's happening over at Capcom's side. Professor Layton and Ace Attorney.
Yeah,
Phoenix
versus
Wright.
Ace Attorney or cross Ace Attorney or whatever you like, synergizing those two characters. Yeah, another crossover coming out of Japan. Japanese developer Level 5 at its Vision event announced the unlikely pairing. Is it that unlikely at this point? I don't know.
They both solve crime.
They both solve crime. Of 2 of the DS's most popular crime-solving characters. According to reports from Japan-focused games news site Andrea Sang, Professor Layton will be teaming up with Phoenix Wright in Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, which is being developed for the Nintendo 3DS, so second of the Layton games we know of.
So 2 Professor Layton games for 3DS for a console that's not even out yet. So, I mean, this is a good crossover. I think a lot of people are fond of these characters. Good to see them in the same game, although completely out of left field. Wouldn't have expected this, really.
Yeah, and the game styles are pretty different. I mean, they've got crime solving and puzzles and ish. But they are pretty different, so we'll have to see whether it's more like one or the other. I guess the official site's launched and there's a Japanese trailer with no subtitles and no dub, so I don't really know what's going on in it, but it looks cool and they're kind of, objecting and pointing decisively at each other. So
I was going to say, as long as you can shout objection at this game, then I'm sold.
As Professor Layton, sold.
I'm done. So this is coming out 3DS exclusive. Yes. It's another Capcom crossover product. They're doing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, is this the game that's going to make you get a 3DS, or there's already games?
I'm already sold on the 3DS. I'm already going to get it. But it's another one to add to the list.
Okay.
That's cool.
And if you're a fan of Professor Layton, remember there's a new game coming out this Friday or today. If you want to pick it up, it's on the standard DS. All right. Well, that's it for the news. But be sure to check out these stories and many more. Just head over to gamespot.com/news. Last time around, we spoke to your friend of mine, Mr. Tim Schafer, about Halloween-tastic downloadable RPG Costume Quest. But for today's show, we had him talk about the industry, his career, his beard, and his favourite swears.
How far down do you go? It's like here.
It goes down to about the plexus.
The plexus. The plexus.
What is that?
Are you some sort of bodybuilder? What is it? The plexus.
Famous wrestler one.
Plexus.
The plexus. I can change it. I can do a quick zoom in.
No, the plexus. That's my best angle. I've been focusing on my plexus all week.
Just in preparation for this.
Yeah.
All right.
In fact, I have a special way of curling weight just with my plexus. Just grab it right here. Oh.
So it's been known recently that you're working with Ron Gilbert again. How did that come about?
I left town and they hired him while I was here. It's a little awkward. Now, Ron and I have kept in touch over the years. Did you guys fall for that story? Everyone was a little quiet when that. Ron and I have kept in touch over the years, ever since he left LucasArts. You know, I followed him through his humongous stuff, and then Deathspank, and he lives nearby, and he was working on some home projects, and he didn't want to just stay at home all day, so we lent him a desk, and he would come into the office and use the desk, and that just led to us talking about game ideas. And then now that we're doing multiple projects, we can have more opportunities for him to just fit into one of those slots and make a game of Double Fun.
So, I mean, what have you guys got planned?
Secrets. We have planned a lot of secrets. I mean, we want to do a game that's something new and something that's, I think it's going to be funny and it's going to be a lot of character and story to it. That's all I can say right now.
Great. So what do you think about the recent re-releases of Monkey Island, etc., on the iPhone?
I really enjoyed playing the special editions for Monkey Island. I mean, it was strange for me because I had not played Monkey 2 for 20 years, I guess, since it came out. I hadn't played it. And it was kind of, in some ways, the fans' revenge on me, because as I was playing it, I would write on Twitter where I was stuck, and people would just write, ha, 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 and just laugh at us. I mean, I had to look up hints on my own game, which is really embarrassing. But it's, I had to admit, yes, that monkey wrench puzzle was not fair. I mean, I didn't have to look up a hint on it, because I remember that one, because I heard about people complaining about it all those years. But it made sense at the time. Monkey wrench, or what do you call it here? It's a chimp spanner.
What do you think about the rise of the iPhone and indeed the iPod Touch as a gaming platform?
I don't have an iPad yet, but people have told me it's like the greatest platform for games because it's just big and pretty and you can touch it. Big and pretty and you can touch it. That's what people want from anything, really. But I have my iPhone. I've been playing. I played Monkey 1 on it all the way through, and I think it's reaching people that games hadn't reached before, and I think that's great.
What do you think about the kind of the status of the games industry as a whole at the moment?
I think it's actually a great time in the games industry. There's so many new things coming out, both in downloadable games and the iPhone, iPad stuff you guys are talking about. And just when you think it's kind of stuck in a rut and nothing new will come out, then something like Limbo will come out or kind of challenge people's ideas about what could be popular and what games should look like. And I think that's great because the games industry has been surprised a lot lately. Everyone was surprised by Facebook and what impact that had. So I think the fact that we just don't know what's coming next is kind of exciting. And I think there's more avenues for all kinds of different games instead of just hardcore games. There's all kinds of different creative games that you can make, and actually they will see the light of day now. And some of them have proven to be big hits, and so that's exciting.
So what do you think makes a game a success or a failure?
Gosh, that would be great. What makes a game a success or a failure is like that nut everyone's trying to crack. I think you have to make a good game, and then you have to make the right game, and then you have to let people know about it. Like those seem to be the three big categories of it. And the publisher is mostly responsible for letting people know about it, and the developer is mostly responsible for making it good. And then that tricky one in the middle of making the right game is something that the developer and publisher kind of collaborate on. And that's always the one that's kind of the black magic voodoo area that people say they know what the right game is to make, and after it's already a big success, but it's really, people really don't. No one really knows anything, as the phrase goes.
So there's been a lot of talk about, from developers and publishers that some games are considered art. Do you consider the games you make as an art form?
The whole games as art question is, yeah, I do. I mean, I do. I think if someone makes something and they think they're making art, then that is essentially the end of the argument. And then especially if someone playing a game considers it art, then the person making it and the person playing it both consider it art. There's really no need for a third person to come in and say it's not art. So yeah, the games are definitely art because they provide the function that art provides, which to me is about kind of an essential communication between two people, nonverbal, or at least around the normal, not through normal verbal communication, but through something more essential. And I think games can definitely cause that connection between people.
So what do you think about the relationship between publishers and developers? Is it a good one, and is there anything you would change about it?
You know, not just because they're in the room or anything, but I would say it's great. It's terrible. No, it's the relationship between publishers and developers. That's a big, complicated issue. You could do a whole show about the relationship between publishers and developers. I think I've learned to have a better relationship with publishers over the years. Like our relationship with GHQ has been the smoothest we've ever had, and they've been really great to us. And I think every time we do a game, I learn a little bit something about it, because you really are partners, and the more your goals are aligned, the better your relationship is, and the better the game is in the end. Because you really ultimately both want the same thing in the end, for a great game to come out and do well.
You ever thought about self-publishing a game?
Self-publishing would be a lot of fun. There have been periods where we were kind of self-publishing both the first two games we made, because we were between publishers for a period. So it was a little bit like we were self-publishing. You need some money to do that. That's the tricky part about the whole self-publishing thing.
What is something about yourself that would surprise people?
My plexus. So that's kind of an in-joke here at the GameSpot studio that no one knows about. I'm really good at the yo-yo, but people might know that already. I'm obviously really famous for my yo-yo skills.
Can you do splitting the atom?
I can do splitting the atom. That's a hard one. You used to rock the cradle, though.
Well, yeah, that's part of splitting.
This is the international symbol for rock the cradle. Splitting the atom is this. Dara.
What would be the consequences of working in the games industry and not having a beard?
Oh, the consequence of working in the games industry and not having a beard, you really be putting your own safety at risk. And the beard is both a protective device and also a symbol of authority and wisdom. Did you see the gray on this? That's wisdom. There's wisdom just running out of my mouth because I speak so much wisdom all day long.
So what would you
Yes.
Oh, you broke me. What's your favourite swear word? That's another reader question.
Balls.
So this is the final question now. What advice would you give to aspiring developers out there?
What advice would I give to aspiring developers?
Aspiring developers.
They are. Yeah, I don't know if they need my advice, because I've been hearing about all these indie games coming up, and it's just like two guys made the game and it sold 10 million copies, and now they're super rich. So I would like some advice from those guys. And like, how did you get so rich, you little punks? But other than that, I would say listen to the wisdom of the beard. Grow a beard. That's the first thing. Pick a favorite swear word, because someday someone will ask you, and you got to have it like that. Spend other people's money. That's always an important thing to do. And try to have fun. You're supposed to have fun making games. That's an important thing people forget.
For this week's instalment of the Uber PC build, Mark and I jammed as many components as we could into the motherboard, installed Crysis and whatnot, and set about some serious benchmarking.
I'm Mark, she's Jane, and we've got lab coats, which can mean only one thing. It's time for another edition of Greatest Gaming Rig, the show where we build an ultra-powerful PC and give you the chance to win it.
This week we've thrust as much as we can into our naked motherboard, ready for some full-on benchmarking.
On the board we have our two processors, a full loadout of 24 gigabytes of RAM, 3 GTX 480s in triple sly, 1 GTX 460 for PhysX, an SSD, a hard drive, a 1200 watt power supply and an 850 watt power supply, and everything at the moment is currently running at stock speed.
We've also got this rather awesome watt meter so we can see how much power the rig is pulling down when idle and under load.
So as you see here, we've got the NVIDIA control panel open, which can show you that we've got 3-way slice set up. So there's 3 GTX 480s here, and we've got 1 GTX 460, which we have dedicated to PhysX here. On this one, Windows Task Manager got open just so you can see that we have all 24 cores running, which is a beautiful sight.
Right, so we'll close these down, and while we're at it, Mark would like me to point out this is a genuine copy of Windows 7. We just haven't authenticated it, right?
Yes, yeah. It's a pain because we keep changing the hardware around. If we activated it now and then went and changed it, we'd have to activate it again over and over and over. So we will activate it when
but we're not
when
cheaping out.
Yeah, we're not cheaping out, we promise.
So Cinebench, first benchmark. Tell us about it.
Yes, so this is based on Cinema 4D, which they've used to make software that they've used in loads of films for 3D effects, like Spider-Man and The Chronicles of Narnia. And what this does is run a CPU test. So there's like a scene where it runs 3,000 objects with more than 300,000 polygons, and it just completely maxes out the CPU. And yeah, it renders the entire scene. And if we run our watt meter now, you should be able to see that it's now pulling, 550 watts. And on the motherboard, we can see that the temperature of the CPUs has gone up to a toasty, well, it's nearly 38 degrees when it was rendering. So it gives you a time at the very end of the benchmark. As you can see, we've got 15.85, which is extremely fast. Slightly less than our earlier benchmark though, where we got a 16.37. And the great thing about Cinebench is it has loads of these other tools underneath. So you can see the scores of similar systems. So we've got an Intel Xeon down there, an 8-core system that got 11.69, all the way down to an i7 860, which got a mere 5. And so the next one is Heaven Benchmark.
Okay.
So what, before we run it, we should probably say that what we've done is a DirectX 11 test, and we've basically maxed everything. In fact, if you see tessellation there, if you click that, we want it on extreme
tessellation.
extreme
What the hell?
tessellation, and in fact, anti-aliasing. Let's turn that up to 8 times.
8 times.
And the one above it as well. Crank that up.
Yep.
To 16. There we go. And then hit run.
Run.
Yes, so now that's running, you can see our computer's hit 950, peaking 950 watts, which is a lot. It's a hell of a lot. We know that we could get it to peak more than that as well if we run even harder stuff on this, which we will do. So, but I think that's pretty impressive.
All right, so benchmark done, and we've got average frames per second about 66.4, and we've got a score of 1,674, 1674, and I'm told everything above 1,200 is pretty sweet, right?
It's very sweet, that score, very sweet.
And dipping to 18 or so frames per second at minimum, maximum is about 130 frames a second.
Basically, epic.
Epic,
Epic scores. All right, we're going to stop benchmarking now and play some games because we are GameSpot after all, and this is what we do.
Yes.
All right. So I think the first game we're going to check out is probably the game that everyone is going to ask. Yes, this PC can run Crysis. Well, the first thing we got to do is load up our frames per second meter. So if we open up the console, and then do R underscore display info.
Display info.
Space. 1. Yep, and then get rid of that.
Boom.
Okay, so you can see in the top right
crazy
corner,
inverted
the
mouse.
crazy inverted mouse.
So I'm going to change it.
You can change it because it's crazy.
Totally going to change it.
Now, Crysis, we've got set up with absolutely everything maxed out. Nothing's on minimum at all. It's control to crouch.
Can't see what I'm doing. So much glare.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
When you're looking at
but
it
it
at a
looks
funny
pretty,
angle.
right?
It looks very, very pretty. I'm sure people at home can see
tell.
how pretty it looks. So we're averaging about 45 frames per second at the moment on maximum settings, which is just amazing. So there you have it, folks. It runs Crysis. Don't ask us.
Don't worry. Yeah.
This is the next game we're trying out is Batman Arkham Asylum. The reason we're trying out this game is because it has dedicated PhysX support. So what we've done in the settings for the game is, again, max out all the graphics And we've also enabled PhysX to run on our single GTX 460, which really, really helps with the frame rate. So yeah, as you can see, it looks amazing. You've got all these lighting effects in there. And if you compare this to the console version of the game as well, there's far more kind of blur and different kind of like lighting animations in there that are just missing, particularly from the Xbox version, we've noticed. So
I see.
It looks great. And if Jane can control Batman.
I wasn't on WASD.
We are
the keys
pros.
next to them.
We do play games quite often, we promise. Okay, so now we've got out of that, let's actually run the benchmark from Batman Arkham Asylum and see what kind of score we get on this system. So all this benchmark does is it runs through some of the different environments in the game, shows us some of the lighting effects. We've noticed it's actually starting to chug somewhat. This was running perfectly fine yesterday, but it is chugging, which is a little bit disappointing for the fact that we've got, again, some of the most expensive components you can buy, and a game like this is chugging slightly, particularly on the big environmental scenes. And the slime meter on the left isn't even it's not being tacked that much. Average 36 frames per second. That's not bad, actually.
No, but a minimum of 5, so yeah, there's a few hiccups in there.
There's a few hiccups in there that I'm sure we can tweak and get out of.
Okay.
But you can check out more benching over on the site, including the PC Mark Vantage results and the 3D Mark results in full detail. We'll provide all the frames per second, etc., times, graphs. We'll put graphs on there and everything. It'll be great. So you can go to tinyurl.com/GSUKPCComp, where you can enter the competition and find a link to the blog where the benchmark results will be.
Don't forget you have the chance to win this entire rig, complete with its mind-bending processing power and awesome accessory bundle.
All you have to do to win this amazing prize is tell us how much you think the rig would cost in total if you got all the parts at standard price, and as a tiebreaker, tell us in 50 words or less why you think you deserve it.
You can enter the competition over on the site and read more about the build over on the hardware blog. Just head over to tinyurl.com/GSUKPCComp to find out more. To enter, you have to be over 13 and a UK resident, and the competition is subject to our normal terms and conditions.
Time for a bit of feedback from the site. Another 110 asks,
Says, build is looking great. I was just wondering, will the added Corsair AX850 PSU affect people who have already entered?
no. No, it won't.
How not? Did you get it for free?
How not? Well, technically we did, but it won't affect people who already entered. It basically total up the cost of the parts that are on that page already. We'll take those into account. So let's just pretend that the AX850 doesn't exist, and that'll be fine. And then we'll take that as your answer.
Okay. Right, meanwhile, over on YouTube, Michael 2KX5911.
That's a catchy username.
Shadowhunter Death
Yes,
Stalker
catchy,
XX
yeah.
says, consoles suck and I hate that. I would give anything to watching wild rabies infected squirrels. European row, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. By a group of nomadic sperm whales.
Well, thank you for that insightful look into computing, Michael. We'll be sure to avoid whale-infested oceans in the near future.
And we'll be back again next week, where we'll be getting decorative on your ass and encasing this beautiful rig in a custom-made Perspex Danger Den case. It's going to look amazing.
Till next time, happy gaming, spotters.
Fable 3 Kingmaker is a tie-in mobile application for the upcoming game from Lionhead. It's a geolocation check-in app, a bit like Foursquare or Facebook Places, which lets you plant virtual flags in locations to earn gold that you can then spend in the game itself. It's a bit like the Pub Games gambling mini-games application that came out ahead of Fable 2.
When you sign up, Kingmaker assigns you a team, either the Royals or the Rebels. And since I got sorted into the Royals and Guy got sorted into the Rebels, we're leaving Castle Gamesport right now and venturing out into the unclaimed wilds of central London to win territory for our teams and compete for the biggest gold haul. Yep.
Let's go.
Let's get out of here.
You're going down,
All
Jane.
right.
Alright, so we're off. And I am going to go and make my first check-in, which is going to be the Globe Theatre. So, let's see if we can get a head start on it.
So we're on a bus at last, I'm with Seb, and we'll be covering more ground than Guy, but we're entirely at the will of the big bus tour.
These streets are mine. I know them inside out while Jane is getting chauffeured around. Big bus. check in to some places in Fable 3 Kingmaker.
The closest is the Design Museum and the Tea and Coffee Museum, UK.
The Museum of Tea and Coffee. Will I refresh that? Who wants to see a museum of tea?
I can plant a flag. I'll plant a flag while we're here. Flag planted. There you go, I made 50 gold. 50 gold up.
One thing that the app doesn't tell you particularly well is where they are exactly. It's not like Google Maps, which is fairly accurate. So basically, we're here at the Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. I think maybe it's around the corner. Hold on. This is a nightmare. Yes, I got 2,050 gold coins.
Bank of England has a treasure chest, which is 5,000 gold. If we don't pass within 50 metres of the Bank of England, I'm going to cry.
Yes, there's the London Eye. I can go and get some stuff at the London Eye. Let's go over there. The London Eye. Now, one thing I have to do is make sure I actually watch the road while I'm doing this. Otherwise, I won't be checking in anywhere apart from the hospital. So, guy hasn't called, and we're pretty sure it's because he's having such an amazing time collecting gold. And not because he's come off his bike and died in central London somewhere. If I die, I think this may be either Jane or Seb's fault. Jane for coming up with this idea, and Seb for setting up this camera.
We're actually accelerating away from the treasure right now. This is the worst idea.
I'm going to give Jane a call, see how she's getting on.
Right, what are you on? How much you got altogether? 9,050, Jesus. He's on 9,000 gold. I think bike was really the way to go with this. Okay, we bailed on the bus because it's not working. We've sailed past so much treasure, but within like 300, 400 meters, which is no good. We need to be 50 meters away. So we're actually just gonna go and hike over to the London Eye and try and pick up some treasure and claw it back from Guy. The icon is red now, which means we can actually collect this goddamn treasure. Claim treasure. You have now 9,600 gold coins. Okay, we're catching up.
The Kingmaker app allows you to check in at game stores conveniently, so you can buy the game or pre-order the game. I'm going to go and check in up there. The major treasure looks like it's at a place called Ben Uri. So you can see over here, there's a lot of Greenpeace protesters. Come on, Churchill, give me my gold.
Oh, no. Wait. It's just starting to rain and things are looking desperate, but we are at Banqueting House. Apparently, I guess this is where they banquet. And I'm totally going to check in and claim all that gold. Claimed. All right, 11,650. Onward.
So Ben Uri should be around here somewhere. What? Yes. It's letting me claim it. I'm right on top of it. And plant a flag to celebrate. Yes.
Okay, time's up. It's been an hour. We've got 11,650 gold. And then we came to Nelson's column and thought he'd have some gold for us, but there is no gold here. So we're going to head back to base and see how much Guy's got. And I suspect he's got a little more. And we're back. So you won, Guy. I think you got all the golds.
I didn't just win, Jen. I won with a pink phone.
Yeah,
your pink phone.
I know, right?
That's extra
I had to lend you
credit.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. I'm impressed with it. I was a Foursquare addict. I've gone cold turkey off that now. The problem with this is that it doesn't really guide you to where you need to go, so you need to know where these places are. And actually, one of the biggest treasures that I found was at a museum in Soho that I didn't know existed, and really had to. You have to be very accurate when you check in.
Yeah, and there is a map. There's integrated maps, but they're not very well integrated.
Not very well integrated is a nice way of saying they're rubbish. Yes. So you click on it, it doesn't really tell you what direction to head in. My tactic was to go and find the places that I knew. So like the London Eye was one of them. Mm-hmm. There's a big stash of gold at the London Eye.
Yeah, it's $5,000 at the London Eye.
Yeah, I think that's what won it for me, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. I've got enough gold now to buy a house of cards, whatever that is. Is that
an actual house of cards? No, I'm sure it's a real house.
But I need more gold if I'm going to buy a king's jacket.
Fair enough.
So that seems hard work.
Yeah. Thing is, though, Foursquare doesn't get you gold. Facebook Places doesn't get you gold.
This gets you gold.
And the Rebels are winning.
Yeah.
So
My team's winning.
it's all good for you guys.
So what do you think? Did you enjoy doing it at least? Did you
Yeah,
have a good time?
it's good fun, and I'm really psyched to not be a pauper when I start playing Fable 3 very soon.
You can go and buy yourself a pint of beer at least. I mean,
Yeah,
that's 50
gold.
Do you think you're going to be doing it after this experiment, or are you going to be?
We'll see, because there's still a career system in Fable 3. So we'll see whether it's easier to earn money in the game or outside of the game, or how they're going to support the service after the game actually launches. I imagine it will keep running.
Okay.
Maybe? I don't know.
I think
the pub
it will.
games things didn't, did it?
No, it didn't actually, and I think that with this one, I don't know what they've said, whether they're going to continue doing it. But the thing that I said about it before is how accurate you have to be. You have to actually. There was at one point where I was outside, well, pretty much Downing Street, with a camera attached to my bike, talking to a camera. I looked like a mentalist, and
That's when they called out the police marksman.
That's when I was concerned almost that I was on doing things that I shouldn't.
Anything for the gold.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to give it up. I think I've had enough of this game.
Okay.
But you can find out more, right? You can download it for your various devices. Just go to the
Fable3Kingmaker.com, indeed. Cool. Yeah.
Hey you like new games? Well, coming out this week are a lot of new games, but we've picked out the two biggest ones that we think are worthy of your attention.
The first is Fallout New Vegas on the PS3, PC and 360, and the latest game in the post-nuclear RPG series is being developed by many members of the Fallout 1 and 2 team at Obsidian Entertainment, using the Fallout 3 engine, in fact. You might have guessed it's set in the ruins of Las Vegas.
Next up is Vanquish on the 360 and PlayStation 3. Now, this is a game that I've personally been looking forward to for a lot of this year. It's a sci-fi third-person action game from Platinum Games, the creators of Bayonetta, and it's from Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami. They've already sent us this lovely dolly that Jane is demonstrating.
Adult collectible, in fact.
It's in great shape. It's fine, and it's limited edition. So
it's not.
No, it's not.
Not really.
All right, okay. Well, you can check it out in stores this week.
Also out this week, we've got Buzz, the Ultimate Music Quiz on PS3.
Also, Nintendo DSi XL 25th Anniversary Special Edition, which is a special version of the console, along with New Super Mario Bros.
What's special about it?
It's got a different colour.
Okay, and Lego Universe, the Lego MMO for PC.
New Carnival Funfair games. If Carnival Funfair games wasn't enough for you, then this is the new version, and it's on Wii and DS.
And if Carnival Funfair isn't your thing, Saw 2 Flesh and Blood is on the PS3 and 360.
You can get your wiki on with DJ Hero 2 on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and Wii, and we'll be giving a party pack away at the end of the show.
And then there's EA Sports MMA on 360 and PS3.
And finally, probably the highlight of the bunch, Professor Layton and the Lost Future is hitting the Nintendo DS. Time for your feedback now. Remember, you can get in touch with us at Start Select. Just head over to our Facebook page or go to our brand new, redesigned, sexy-looking Start Select page and leave a comment. Now, they've done just that, Jane.
Yeah, Apache Chief says, new Deus Ex looks impressive in terms of graphics. I think I'll observe this one. Well put. And Keiki says, it's nice to see a dedicated Start Select webpage. That it is, Keiki. And feedback from the Facebook page on the new 8-bit presenter graphics, which were a teaser for our new look Start Select, which is coming at some point.
We're going retro.
Yeah. Cheryl Roll says, super cool, smiley face. And Chris Thomas said, outstanding. DLC for the Scott Pilgrim game, please. And Isel Arif chipped in with, Guy looks a bit off. But Jane and Mark are spot on.
He's just referring in general.
Generally.
So I just look a bit weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Following on from that theme, Content Context, in a classic piece of punnery, said, who's that guy on the right?
It's not a pun.
I think that's
He
me.
just didn't know.
He just doesn't know it's me.
He doesn't know you.
I think it's because Mark's got the thick-rimmed glasses, and because you're the female of the group.
Identifiable.
I think I just look like
generic.
Just, but you know, I'm happy with it.
It was
I'm
anyway.
using it as my profile pic for everything now. So very happy with it, even if no one knows who it is. Remember, you can get in touch with us anyway. Go and hit up our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/GameSpotUK, and go and watch the episode on our brand new Start Select page. Last time on the show, we gave you the chance to win one of 3 copies of Castlevania Lords of Shadow. All you had to do was tell us one of the famous voice actors from the game.
And William Riley said Robert Carlyle is the voice actor for Gabriel Belmont, correct? And William Dawson said so many to choose from, but it's got to be Patrick Stewart. He makes everything better. And Ibrahim Magzi says Robert Carlyle, Jason Isaacs, Natasha McElhone, and Patrick Stewart. I want to win this game so badly that instead of naming just one voice actor, I'm going to name the ones that I know of. So we'll probably send you one copy for every name there.
Well done. Well done, guys. They will all be out to you very shortly. This time, though, courtesy of Activision, we have one DJ Hero 2 party pack to give away on the Xbox 360. The pack contains a copy of the game, as well as 2 turntables and a microphone.
If you want to win the bundle and get your party all pumping and that, then simply answer this question. Name one of the new DJs that feature in the game. If you think you know the answer, send it to competitions@gamespot.co.uk before November 2nd, and we'll draw the winners for next episode of the show. Thanks for watching this episode of Start Select. We'll be bringing you another episode of the show very soon. In the meantime, you can go and see more Start Select now on your Xbox 360 with regular GameSpot UK videos appearing on the Inside Xbox channel.
And remember, you can check out GameSpot UK's Twitter feed. We are at GameSpot UK. You can catch all our tweets and what we had for breakfast. And let us know what you think about the show by posting on our Facebook page over at facebook.com/GameSpot UK. Remember, we read the best comments out on the show. We'll see you next time.